What if the love, strength, and validation you've been searching for were within you all along? For too long, you've been taught to seek worth in the eyes of others. But the truth is, your power has always been yours. It's time to stop waiting for permission to shine and embrace the light you were born to carry. You are more than enough, just as you are. The air shifted as you entered, carrying an undeniable presence that seemed to ripple through the room. That unspoken strength you exuded unsettled them, serving as a stark reminder of their own self-doubt and insecurities. Rather than confronting their own shadows, they opted for an easier route, to dismantle your essence piece by piece. At first, their moves were almost imperceptible, wrapped in carefully veiled gestures and words that seemed supportive, yet left an odd residue. They offered just enough approval to create a cycle of uncertainty, drawing you toward their validation as though it held the key to your worth. At moments when you soared the highest, they strategically withheld acknowledgement, a silent void designed to anchor you in self-doubt. This was no act of care. It was a carefully orchestrated game of dependency, aimed at tethering your power and keeping you unaware of its brilliance. The cycle becomes clearer when you trace it. Every milestone you reached, every step forward in your evolution, was met with a carefully veiled dismissal. They would diminish your accomplishments with phrases that seemed innocuous but carried sharp edges, designed to downplay what you'd achieved. Their actions weren't born of ignorance, but of awareness, a deep recognition of your potential that felt like a threat to their own fragile self-image. Your light, your intellect, and your steady rise unsettled the foundation of the identity they clung to, one that required your humility as its cornerstone. It wasn't always one individual. Sometimes it was those closest to you, the very people meant to uplift you. Perhaps it was a friend who turned your wins into competitions, or a relative who treated your successes as mere trivialities. The thought of applauding your brilliance felt to them like erasing their own, and so they chose silence or subtle sabotage, hoping to keep you tethered to a smaller version of yourself. There was a time when you absorbed their behavior as truth, convincing yourself that the fault must lie within. Each cold remark, each moment of withheld approval, led you to question your own value, wondering if you were truly deserving of respect, kindness, or recognition. This was no accident. It was a calculated effort to sow uncertainty, to make you lean on them for validation. Their intent was to keep you diminished, tethered, and unsure. But what they failed to foresee was that every attempt to undermine you was quietly igniting a resilient force within. Their discomfort stemmed not from your flaws, but from the sharp contrast your growth and evolving identity cast against their own stagnation. Unable to embrace your transformation, they sought to confine you, hoping your self-doubt would act as chains to keep you from surpassing them. Yet, even when you couldn't recognize it, their resistance was only sharpening your edges, preparing you to break free. They underestimated you, believing they could stifle what was always meant to shine. Their attempts to obscure your path never truly extinguished the brilliance within. It merely waited, growing stronger in the quiet moments of realization. The time has come. What they feared most is unfolding before them. Their efforts to keep you subdued have only fueled your resolve. They tried to confine you to the shadows, but you were always destined to rise above them. They wanted your voice muted, but it now echoes with undeniable clarity. They sought to bind you, but you have claimed your freedom with unwavering strength. Their plans have unraveled, revealing not just their own fragility, but the unyielding power of your resilience. Containment was never an option for a force as boundless as yours. The transformation began quietly, almost imperceptibly, slipping under their radar while they remained focused on keeping you confined. As they poured their energy into attempts to limit you, an internal shift was taking root. You didn't retreat in defeat. Instead, you withdrew with intention, gathering strength for the inevitable. Each dismissive word, each calculated silence honed your understanding, like a blade sharpening against stone. Their actions became transparent, hidden fears masquerading as authority, fragility cloaked in judgment. Once clarity arrived, it was irreversible. They never anticipated your ability to rise beyond their grasp, believing their control would keep you tethered indefinitely. Yet all it took was a single moment of realization to unravel it all. When you saw their validation for what it was, a hollow construct, you broke free. The need for their approval evaporated because everything you sought had always existed within you. They never anticipated this transformation. In their minds, they had you neatly categorized. Someone who depended on their approval, someone who would always seek their validation. But their assumptions have crumbled, leaving them stunned. The very individuals who once dismissed or underestimated you are now wrestling with their own insecurities, haunted by your newfound strength and independence. They observe you flourishing, radiating a confidence they never imagined, and it unsettles them deeply. How could this happen without their influence? How could you glow so brightly without their permission? They begin to dwell on the past, sifting through fragments of shared moments, trying to pinpoint where their grasp on you faltered. Regret gnaws at them as they replay their interactions, wondering if a different approach could have preserved their hold. Yet, the person they knew is long gone. You've transcended their reach, shedding old patterns and ascending to a space they cannot follow. This awareness gnaws at them, a persistent reminder of their failure to recognize your boundless potential. The weight of their choices now rests heavily on their shoulders, impossible to ignore. They replay every moment they underestimated you, every instance they overlooked your value, and the stark realization of what they've lost consumes them. Regret lingers in their minds as they witness your brilliance, knowing they had every opportunity to cherish and support you, but chose not to. That window of possibility is gone. You've moved beyond their reach, leaving them to face the fallout of their own actions. Yet not everyone wrestles with regret. Some cling to their narratives, refusing to acknowledge their role in your journey. They see your growth, but instead of reflecting on their shortcomings, they twist the story, convincing themselves that you've changed for the worse. Their denial shields them from the pain of self-awareness, though it is fragile and easily cracked by the truth. Deep down, they recognize that their attempts to contain you only fueled your rise, and now the sight of your success is a constant reminder of the courage they failed to find within themselves. The person they once believed they knew is unrecognizable to them now. You've stepped out of the limitations they imposed, breaking free of the narrow expectations that once defined their comfort zone. Your transformation is vast, uncontainable, and entirely your own. While they remain stuck in the past, you have soared into a future where their control has no place. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the Super Thank You button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but the souls of many through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's grand design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Act now, Share your abundance to glorify His kingdom, for you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. Your transformation is something they never saw coming. They believed they could confine you, limit your potential, and stifle the fullness of your essence. Yet here you are, standing in a reality that exceeds anything they could have imagined. What once was a quiet ember has become a flame, radiant, untamed, and unapologetic. The power that flows through you now is undeniable, an effortless expression of who you are. This isn't just about how you appear, it's a profound alignment of your inner and outer worlds, an unshakable confidence born from a deep and intentional journey towards self-acceptance. This metamorphosis transcends the physical. It's as though you've unlocked a current of boundless energy, a vitality that touches everything around you. Your presence has become magnetic, impossible to ignore. Those who once sought to confine your spirit now find themselves drawn to the very essence they tried to suppress. The parts of you they wanted silenced, your tenderness, your passion, your boundless capacity to feel, are now the very qualities that make you unstoppable. You have embraced every facet of yourself, even the ones they taught you to hide. Your softness is strength. Your vulnerability is resilience. Every step you take reflects the harmony between your body, mind, and spirit, creating a force that no one can diminish. You no longer diminish yourself to ease the discomfort of others. You stand tall, unyielding in your truth, radiating a light so brilliant it inspires others to rise alongside you. You are a testament to what it means to live fully, boldly, and entirely free. The essence of your sensuality now reflects the profound relationship you've built with yourself. It is no longer about seeking recognition from others, but about celebrating the sacred connection you have with your inner being. This energy, rooted in self-respect and self-love, has become a powerful, unshakable part of who you are. Your sensuality is not something borrowed or diminished by external forces. It radiates as a testament to the balance and harmony you've cultivated within. Those who once sought to diminish your worth now watch, captivated, as you embody a presence they never expected. Your transformation defies the confines they tried to place on you, leaving them in awe of your strength and grace. The control they once imagined they held over you has crumbled, replaced by their recognition of a force they can no longer contain or define. In claiming your freedom, you have shattered expectations and set yourself apart as a being of boundless potential. The love you have discovered for yourself transcends fleeting judgments, creating an unyielding core of strength. This love, profound and unwavering, ripples outward, influencing not only your own life, but the lives of everyone fortunate enough to encounter your energy. Free from the shadows of doubt, you've emerged as a luminous figure, wholly unapologetic in your truth. In this freedom, you have discovered an enduring source of power, beauty, and grace that cannot be touched or diminished. This is just the dawn of your transformation. As you continue to embrace your essence with unwavering self-respect and authenticity, the world around you begins to shift. Those who once sought to diminish your spark either retreat or attempt to rise to the level you now embody. Yet, their reactions no longer hold power over you. Your focus is entirely on the path you are forging, the growth you are cultivating, and the love you've reclaimed for yourself. Take a moment to reflect on your evolution. You have become something beyond what those who tried to constrain you could ever fathom. Their efforts to control or obscure your brilliance were born out of their own insecurities, an inability to face the magnitude of your strength and potential. But the power they feared is now wholly yours, unshakable and untouchable. No longer bound by the weight of external validation, you have reclaimed every part of yourself, your radiance, your depth, and your undeniable force. Those who once tried to hold you back now find themselves overshadowed by the magnificence of your growth. They cannot reach the heights you've attained, nor can they diminish the brilliance you carry. You are a force unyielding, a testament to what it means to rise fully into oneself. Embrace this newfound freedom. It is yours and yours alone, and it is limitless. They never anticipated your ascent, never imagined you would emerge as the luminous force you are today. They miscalculated your strength, underestimated your resilience, and overlooked your capacity to transform. Now, from a distance, they watch in silence, grappling with the undeniable truth of their past actions. For some, the enormity of their choices is suffocating. They find themselves revisiting memories, haunted by the moments they dismissed your worth, and are left to carry the unbearable weight of knowing they let something irreplaceable slip away. Regret gnaws at them as they replay their behavior, dissecting the instances where they withheld love or chipped away at your spirit. The sight of your radiance now serves as a constant reminder of what they lost, an ache that lingers without reprieve. But not everyone confronts regret with the same clarity. Some are entrenched in denial, unwilling to face the consequences of their choices. They cling to distorted narratives, convincing themselves that you were at fault, that your transformation has somehow distanced you from who you once were. Beneath their defiance, however, lies an unspoken truth. They recognize their misjudgment, but pride binds them to their false stories. For others, the stark contrast between your growth and their stagnation strikes like a thunderclap. They never considered that you could surpass them, much less evolve beyond their control. The realization leaves them feeling insignificant, unable to reconcile the disparity between who they are and who you've become. Among them are those who find themselves torn between admiration and jealousy. They marvel at your strength and transformation, yet envy the brilliance you now carry with such ease. Their longing to emulate your resilience is overshadowed by the bitterness of their own inadequacies. Instead of celebrating your rise, they are consumed by an internal struggle, wondering why they lack the courage to pursue their own healing. This envy, layered with regret, becomes a quiet torment, magnifying their sense of loss as they confront the undeniable reality of your light, untethered and unstoppable. The aftermath of your evolution has left them reeling, blindsided by the magnitude of your transformation. They underestimated the depth of your resilience and the strength of your resolve, unable to fathom the heights you would reach. Now, from a distance, they are forced to grapple with the echoes of their own actions. For some, the regret is overwhelming. They replay their choices like a haunting melody, remembering the times they dismissed your worth or withheld affection. These memories, once insignificant to them, now weigh heavily, leaving them to reckon with a loss they cannot undo. Watching you thrive is a relentless reminder of what they failed to nurture, a wound that remains unhealed. But regret isn't universal. Some remain rooted in denial, clinging to the notion that they were not at fault. They construct flimsy narratives, convincing themselves that your growth is somehow a deviation, an unwelcome transformation. Beneath their defensive posturing lies the undeniable truth. They know they misjudged you, but pride keeps them tethered to their illusions. For others, the realization of your ascendancy hits like a storm they weren't prepared to weather. They never envisioned you breaking free, much less soaring far beyond their reach. Your evolution exposes the stagnation they've accepted in themselves, leaving them to wrestle with feelings of inadequacy they can no longer ignore. Among them are those who vacillate between admiration and envy. They marvel at your courage and transformation, yet jealousy shadows their gaze. They yearn for the strength you've demonstrated, the ability to rise above past wounds, but their bitterness eclipses any genuine appreciation. They wonder why they lacked the determination to claim their own peace and self-love. This envy, left unchecked, corrodes their spirit, amplifying the distance between who they are and who they could have been. Your journey, unstoppable and luminous, is a testament to the freedom they denied themselves, a mirror reflecting both your triumph and their missed opportunities. Your transformation has disrupted their sense of certainty, forcing them to confront truths they long ignored. The person they thought they knew has vanished, replaced by someone they never truly understood. What once seemed predictable now feels like a mystery they cannot solve. They believed they had control, but they've been left grasping at shadows, unable to reconcile the vibrant being before them with the version of you they sought to diminish. Their regret is palpable, a weight they carry as they replay every moment they undervalued your worth. They might try to fill the void with someone new, hoping to replicate what they lost, but they quickly realize that you were never replaceable. Your presence was singular, your energy unforgettable. They are haunted by the intangible qualities they once overlooked. The way you brought warmth to every space, the quiet strength in your essence, and the light they never fully appreciated. No matter how far they move, your memory lingers, not just in thought, but in the very fabric of their being. Your impact wasn't born from appearances or surface traits. It was rooted in the deep and unshakable energy that flowed through you. That force was never about them. It was always about you. It was your resilience, your clarity, and the divine spark you carried within that captivated them, even if they didn't recognize it at the time. Now, as they watch from the periphery, they feel the pull of what they let slip away. It isn't just your transformation that leaves them reeling. It's the realization that they never took the time to see the depth of who you were. And now, they cannot escape the gravity of your presence, a force that transcends memory and leaves a lasting imprint they will never be able to erase. Looking back now, they are struck by how profoundly they misunderstood you. Their focus on control blinded them to the very essence of what made you powerful. They were too preoccupied with keeping you small to recognize the brilliance of your true self. That energy, the force within you they failed to grasp, has become something they can neither ignore nor forget. It isn't just that you've moved forward or thrived in ways they couldn't predict. It's the realization that the person you've become is beyond their comprehension, beyond their reach. You exist now as a distant figure in their minds, someone who once stood within arm's length but now occupies a space they can't touch. The weight of their misjudgment sits heavily on them as they replay past moments, the times they dismissed or overlooked your light. Regret claws at them as they come to terms with what they've lost, a presence so unique that it lingers, unshakable. They can't help but wonder how differently things might have turned out if only they had seen you for who you truly were. But regret is not the only emotion you stir. They are captivated, almost in awe, by the transformation they could never have anticipated. The confidence, the strength, the unshakable love you have for yourself, it all draws them in, though they know they can never have access to you again. Your energy, now refined and resolute, is far beyond their grasp. Even those who have tried to move on, to replace what they lost, find themselves haunted by the imprint you've left behind. It isn't your physical presence that keeps you in their thoughts. It's the undeniable force of your being, the depth, the divinity, the healing you've cultivated. You've become unforgettable, not because of any singular action, but because of the entirety of who you are. Their memories of you are no longer tied to fleeting details, but to the undeniable truth that you've become everything they feared and everything they secretly admired. Luminous, powerful, and untouchable. The journey of healing has been anything but linear, yet every challenge, every confrontation with your pain has shaped the remarkable being you are today. Facing the shadows of your past head-on, you've transformed yourself in ways that once seemed unimaginable. This process has not only reshaped your inner world, but has also sent ripples outward, affecting those around you in profound ways. Your renewed energy carries a weight that cannot be ignored. It forces others to reflect on their own lives, even if they don't fully understand why. As your spirit strengthens, so too does your presence, magnetic and undeniable. People feel your essence before words are exchanged, sensing the profound self-respect and resilience you exude. For some, this energy is a beacon, drawing them closer. For others, it's a confrontation with their own stagnation, driving them away. Regardless of the response, one truth remains: your transformation is impossible to overlook. This healing has given you more than just closure. It has given you the reins to your future. No longer shackled by past wounds, you've embraced yourself completely, including the parts you were once told to hide. This reclamation has made you whole in a way that feels unshakable. Seeking approval from others is now a relic of the past because you found the validation you needed within yourself. Yet the power of your healing comes with unexpected consequences. As you rise, those who once contributed to your pain are faced with the reflection of their own shortcomings. Your growth acts as a spotlight, illuminating the paths they've avoided, the choices they regret. While some may find inspiration in your resilience, others will wrestle with envy, unable to accept the distance between who they are and who you've become. Whether admired or resented, your transformation has set an unstoppable force in motion. The impact of your healing extends far beyond yourself, creating waves that challenge and inspire others in equal measure. This is the power of reclaiming yourself. It shifts not only your life, but the lives of everyone you touch. The most profound part of this journey is that it's entirely yours. Your healing has never been about anyone else. It's a declaration to yourself, a choice to prioritize your own well-being above all else. By choosing yourself, you've unlocked a rare and boundless form of self-love, one that radiates through every corner of your life. This love isn't dependent on external validation. It is unshakable, a force that makes you untouchable. As you continue to grow, the world around you naturally adjusts. Those who once sought to diminish you must now make a choice: rise to meet the new version of you, or fade into the background. But their reactions no longer matter. Your focus remains on your own evolution, your own joy, and the love you've built within. And that love is the most powerful force of all. Take a moment to see who you've become. You've grown into something far greater than anyone could have anticipated, least of all those who tried to hold you back. Their efforts to control, suppress, or diminish your light were born from fear. Fear of the power you carried, fear of what you could become. That power is now fully realized, uncontainable, and entirely yours. You've let go of the need to be defined by anyone else's opinions or judgments because you've reclaimed your essence in its entirety. Stand firm in your truth, for you are unstoppable. The person you've become is a testament to your resilience and self-belief. Those who sought to keep you small now stand in the shadow of your brilliance, unable to touch the divine being you've become. Your transformation is undeniable, and your light shines brighter than ever, a beacon of strength and untouchable grace.